All right, good morning, guys. It's been a while since I've done a video. So right now I'm in Tuba City, Arizona. I am going to be leaving and headed to Lee's Ferry. So today I'm gonna do a bit of kayaking. So this is going to be a solo trip. A lot of the friends I invited, they have prior engagements with their families, which is awesome. We do encourage fathers to be with their families and have that family time during the weekends. So yeah, I mean, all my buddies, they're dads, and so what I'm trying to do is, I guess, start up some sort of a dad's group type of deal. Something where dads can come together and sort of do good things, hang out, and have discussions about how to be a good dad and give a good advice to one another, sort of like a support group type of deal. So I'm a dad myself. I have a 4-year-old. His name's Michael, and I love him a lot. I mean, I love him so much, and it's kind of hard leaving home to do this kind of stuff. I kind of feel a little bit of selfish about that kind of stuff like that. I'm taking time, but this is like also like self-care here. So my spouse, she's understanding, and her and I, we do encourage one another to hang out with our friends and encourage those healthy relationships with our friends, because it gives us a sense of identity. Just because we're in our relationship and we have our family, that we stop hanging out with our friends. So I do encourage her to go on hikes with her friends and hang out with her friends. Something once a month. So that's kind of what I'm doing too right now. But so this trip's going to be a solo trip. Going to kayak down the Colorado River, and life happens. So you just roll with it. And those guys they're awesome dads. They're good dads and good leaders for their families, and support their spouses, and they're there for their kids, and that's awesome. So we do encourage that, especially like with Native men. We really don't have that kind of support for one another. So again, that's kind of why I'm starting up this dad group. So some sort of a support system, and let's enjoy the ride. All right, we got this bad boy. So this is a sit-on kayak. So I'll be using this guy today.
How many times have you done this trip now, Craig?
I've done this trip about 3 times now.
All right, cool.
My second solo. But yeah, it's all right though. The solo trips are pretty good. Now get some time into solitude and just enjoy the quietness.
Yeah.
Reboot, rethink, recollect, refocus.
I understand that.
Yes, sir.
There's a season in your eyes, and a fever on your breath, and you're anchored to the tide. And the rhythm in your chest. I read the rings and count the city lights. You sing a static sonnet on the dial, or you could take a walk.
This is gorgeous. Colorado River, Lee's Ferry. If you have not done it, you need to do it. So here we are, Lee's Ferry. We're on the Colorado River. Now, many of you guys will, look down at Horseshoe Bend and see the river. But this is how it looks like from down here. Here comes a boat. So just a future reference, as these boats are coming in, you'll see I'm in the shallow end, okay? The boats go into deeper end, so they'll kind of swing around on the outside area, and that's where it's deeper and the propellers and won't get stuck on the vegetation inside the water. So if you're a kayaker, the most important thing you can do for your safety is to make sure that you stay on the inside. So just a future reference. So yeah, so here's Horseshoe Bend. Now a lot of us, we end up driving by and just kind of looking over the edge. So I'm gonna go ahead and zoom up. Let me move over a bit. So right up there. There they are. You see that fence line that keeps people from falling off. You see people posing and taking pictures. There's so much fish down here too. A lot of fishing you guys could do. So much trout swimming around. Just on the side of the riverbank of Horseshoe Bend. So feet's in the water, just kind of cooling down. It's pretty hot out actually. And I've been through a lot. A lot of it is because of my own decision making. Some of it is because, it was just the cards that I was dealt with in life. But I do appreciate everything though. I do appreciate all the challenges and obstacles that I've overcame. I look at them as opportunities of growth, especially perseverance and personal growth. So I just want to, thank the Creator and for putting these obstacles in front of me, because it makes me better as a person and it makes me stronger as a man. But I'm, here to accept any challenge. And these are skills and life advice I can give my son sometime as he grows up. So I'm really appreciative. Like this place is beautiful. I'm telling you guys, you have to, come on out sometime. I mean, the Southwest region is just so beautiful. The skies, when the sun rises and sets, it's really like no place in the world. And we have all these luxuries around us, and we got to get off the couch. We have to get out of the rut that we're in and go out and experience things. It's going to be scary like anything the first time you try it, but as long as you practice safety and common sense, you're going to be all right. So this is the first time I'm vlogging. I've never done anything like that, to bring public and strangers and just people into my life for just a brief period of time. But my name's Craig Young. I'm a U.S. Marine. I am an educator. I am a father. I am an iron worker. I am one day I hope to be the husband of my spouse, but I am the partner of my spouse. This is who I am. Hanagati nishlin kita chitni bashichin class che dashite do not or the net hachini a dashanele. Tsit ije de nasha. So originally I'm from Rough Rock, Arizona. Grew up in Kayenta, Arizona, and now I'm teaching in Tuba City, Arizona. So I feel like in Tuba I'm a guest there. And again, if you're in Tuba, thank you for having me there and taking me in and adopting me as your own. So I'm an educator. I specialize, or you could call me a mathematician, and that's the area of my expertise is mathematics, STEM as well, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. So I started a group, a robotics team, and we've come a long way with that program. And I wrote an article about the importance of STEM education for Indigenous students, but also the importance of mathematics education and mathematical literacy, and how that foundational content, that subject, is very vital to the success of Indigenous students when they enter college or vocational training or even the military. In the military, they want smart people. So students, if you're listening, I'm telling you right now that they want smart people, because a lot of those decisions, there is a lot of math involved too. But a lot of those decisions, there's really life and death, and it's literal. But you just also got to think about, what do you want to do after you get out of the military? There's life outside of the military as well. That's something you also got to plan about. So that's what I give to my students, is that I not only teach them mathematics and just what the state wants me to teach them, but I teach them life skills, personal financial management, how to create their planner for today, their week, the month, the year, goal setting, short-term goals, long-term goals, time management, setting and using that device, your phone, as a powerful tool, rather than just using it to surf Facebook or YouTube or TikTok or whatever, but actually using it as a tool to, to support yourself and to better yourself and to enhance your education and to grow as a person. But ultimately, to get better and with the support of your community and nation to give back once you have made something of yourself. I think that's also very important. So that's who I am. So I am really taking this trip as gratitude and being thankful for, like I said, everything that I've been through, the ups and downs, the triumphs and victories, the adversity and hurdles that I had to overcome. It's gonna take a lot of hard work. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be exhausting. And that's why I wanted to start this dad group, because like me, you have, first and foremost, as a parent, you have your family to take care of. You have to support your spouse. A lot of the stuff at home, a lot of the guys, unfortunately, they think it's just a woman's job to cook, to clean, to do dishes, while they sit down and just watch TV and not lift a finger, and they have this attitude towards them. They're not supportive of their spouse. They're not interacting with their kids. They're not being that hero. I'm going to say that one more time. They're not being that hero that your family needs. So that's kind of where I'm coming in with this dad group, is that it's stressful for us as well. Rather than developing an ugly habit like drinking or anything different, this dad group that I want to make is really just to support other working dads that are actively involved in their family's life, if they're not as well. Even just to help them get in the right direction or pointed in the right direction, and be a better man. And that's what these kids need. A lot of the kids, they come from single parent homes, and a lot of times they're with mom. And so when I'm teaching, a lot of these kids, they look at me as a father figure too. And what they really need though is dad at home. They really need dad support. I know it's scary for dads to, I guess, own up to their responsibility, but that's what makes a man in the right way, without yelling at your kids, without losing your control of your emotions, supporting your spouse, just taking it, but also being in control of your emotions. It's going to be tough, and that's what we need to do is, be that support, that structure for our families. So this is why we want to make this group, and in a healthy way, dads come together and kayak and mountain bike and hike and talk to one another and encourage one another to do better. It's pretty interesting that we don't have these support systems, and we can't depend on our council delegates. We can't depend on our Navajo Nation president. We can't depend on the people. We have to do it ourselves. We had to get rid of this, if you will, the Western mindset, colonization type of mentality, where you have it's very individualized, like it's about. I think that before 1868, before the war with the United States government, before that war, the Navajo tribe, it was more of a communal base. We helped one another. We we went out and sheared sheep for other families. We harvested, we planted, we supported one another as a community. We came together to help one another. And we don't see that much these days. It's all about me, that kind of a mindset. You know, after the livestock reduction and that happened, and you know, that was another sad moment in our history. But you know, our ancestors, our grandparents had to go and work. They had to make money to provide, so they were wage based, which again they were cheated on too. You know, cheap labor and all that, introduced to alcohol, and you know, we can get into that discussion later. But ultimately, since that time, we've really gotten away from helping one another. We've, you know, we work our week 9 to 5. For you vocational tradesmen out there, tradeswomen out there, you know, sometimes you guys work 7/12s, 4/10s, you know, is whatever you guys do, electricians, iron workers, welders. But ultimately, you know, you have that time where we come home and we support our family. And that's where we really have to have that moral courage, is to, no matter what, be there for our spouses. No matter what, no matter how tired we are, to, you know, not just sit down, but you come home and, you know, take your family out to eat, you know, do something fun, or open up a puzzle or board game and have a family night. You know, ask your spouse what she needs. What can I help with? What do you need done? And you know, if she cooks, you do the dishes. You know, just straightening up the house. You know, cutting weeds outside, and vacuuming, mopping, sweeping. We have to get away from that mindset that it's only a woman's job to do that. No, it's our job too, gentlemen. Yeah, it's kind of going on a rant here, and you know, this is what this group is all about. Really, is just helping one another. And there's a lot of stuff that I don't know, that I'm still learning about too, that, you know, older gentlemen can help me out with too. I don't have that father figure anymore. My father, his name is Kenneth Haskell Young, and rest in peace, Dad. And he's up in the spirit world with the deities and the holy people, and passed away in 2011. And it's been hard, even before then. In my adolescent, teenage years, you know, my parents got divorced. My dad left my mom, started another family, and for me, as the only son, or the only son he had at the time, that was difficult to be there for my family, because I felt like I got cheated out of my own childhood. I had to grow up fast to be there for my family. Not necessarily taking his place or anything like that, but more like, what can I do to help my mom and my sisters? It was a rocky time, full of emotions, and, you know, just as a kid growing up. But as I grew up into a man, you know, I got to know him a little differently. So I got to know him as a man, and I felt my time with him was cut short, and it was, you know. Unfortunately, you know, I don't have that luxury of him meeting my son, him meeting his grandson. So it's pretty difficult, but you know, when he was absent, though, I had my late uncle Howard Harvey take me in and teach me how to. He taught me how to weld. He taught me things. My dad also taught me. My uncle Roger Harvey, who's also gone. So my uncle Howard, my uncle Roger are gone. But I've learned a lot from them. My uncle Roger, I learned carpentry. I learned how to work on vehicles. So I'm very thankful for them. And all these men that I looked up to, unfortunately, they're gone now. And something my father said to me was, especially when I was learning from him, was that you need to learn this now. I'm not always gonna be here. You need to learn this. And I'm glad I paid attention. And that's something I want to do, is give back. The school that I work at, I've also started this program called Warriors of Hope. And Warriors of Hope is basically a program for young men, young Native students. So I taught them how to do a tire rotation, how to change their vehicle oil, the engine oil, how to tie a tie, how to dress as far as like dressing up and wearing their slacks and their shirts and how to tie a tie, how to carry yourself and how to be respectful, and just giving them that foundation. Again, a lot of my students, and a lot of the students really, Navajo nationwide, Hopi nationwide, unfortunately they come from homes where dad's absent or he's off working somewhere way far away, and they don't have that male figure in their life. And when they come to school, they see me as their teacher, and I'm there every day for them. I'm there to teach them. And I'm also there for my son. That's something that I want to give back to, is how do we change in a positive way, in the right direction? How do we prepare our young men to be good men? How do we prepare them to respect women? How do we prepare them to be those future leaders that we need? And for me, it's an honor. I'm really thankful that I'm in this position where I inspire young minds, I inspire students. They're the future leaders, future politicians, future welders, electricians, future lawyers, doctors, artists. The list goes on. And I just want to say that for me, this trip's all about gratitude, and also to support my peers, the men that I work with. It's also good to have that time for themselves to hang out with, not necessarily the boys, but also other men who are also like-minded, who want them to succeed, who wants them to do well for their family and help their family. So this is what this dad group is all about: being a good man. And it's tough. There's a lot of challenges, frustrations. How do you cope with things? How do you deal with things? What are the how-tos? And this is what this dad group is all about. So again, we'll do a lot of hiking. We'll do a lot of backpacking, mountain biking, kayaking, maybe even skydiving. I don't know. But we'll see. I don't know what to call it yet, but this is just the start of it. So these are just my thoughts, things that go through my mind, especially when I'm just driving by myself and just kind of thinking, if you will. But this is who I am, and I just want to make an impact as a change agent, as a good person, but I'm glad I'm sober, and I want to help other men, fathers, and doing what we can to help our young men, our families, and our nation. And that's something that you know, collectively that we have to do. But, you know, we can't do this alone. We got to get rid of that individualistic mindset and think more of on a communal base. So, thank you for listening. But I'm gonna go ahead and head down river again, and as more thoughts pop into my head, you know, we'll listen to them again. All right, guys. Aside from the Warriors of Hope program, another program that I run is Arrowhead Math Circle. So Arrowhead Math Circle is basically a startup from the Navajo Nation Math Circles and the Alliance of Indigenous Math Circles. This place is beautiful. All right, guys, so I know I mentioned that, you know, I encourage people to, you know, get out there, but, you know, getting out there also implies that you have to exercise common sense. You just don't jump into something with no experience at all. So if you're an experienced kayaker, then yeah, get out there, but always exercise common sense and safety. So just because I mentioned that doesn't mean that you're, hey, I'm gonna blame this guy because he told me to do that. No, you know, you're an adult, you make your own decisions, so always exercise caution. Okay, so I just wanted to throw that out there and remind people that with everything fun, there is a risk, and sometimes that risk, it goes to the extremes. And what we're doing out here, paddle boarding, kayaking, especially on a major river in the world, it's dangerous. So, you know, just as long as you're comfortable, as long as you're, you know what you're doing, and also wearing a life preserver, you're a good swimmer, you know, just do it safely, get home safely. And always offer a prayer to, you know, the water, and let them know your intentions and what you're here for. So yeah, so I just wanted to remind you guys that, and we're almost finished today. We're almost back to Lee's Ferry. So, you know, I had a lot of fun today. I'm still having a lot of fun. Oh man, I saw like bighorn sheep. I saw different animals, and it's awesome. It's hot too, so make sure you're hydrating, you're drinking water, you have food, you have snacks, you know, things like that. So you have to prepare for this kind of stuff. Again, you just don't jump right into it. There's a lot of planning involved, so I encourage you guys to do your research. All right, so